Hey. Good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah. Time to wake up. Get your body moving. Hey. Good morning. Call Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey, yeah.
What's going on, brother? What's going on, chat chimers, ghost listeners? Time to get up. Move your body. What was that?
Get that blood flowing.
Get the blood flowing, man. Come on. Trying to do the bird like Morris Day this morning. Squat. Hallelujah.
Hey.
Whoa. Hey, shout out to the 6:30 crew. Let me know how the mix was this morning on First Sky Omaha. The listen button going down the radio channel. You can also do your Alexa. Hook your Alexa up to it and be like, Alexa, play First Sky Omaha Radio. Alexa will say, you are now getting down with First Sky Omaha Radio.
Hey. Get up. And get on down.
Monday, November 14th, 2022.
22.
Going down. I like what you're saying there. Get the blood flowing. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, man.
Get it moving. Good morning. We got some good mornings already. Josh Tang in the house. He said, hey, happy Monday. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey.
Judy Princess says, morning all. Good morning to you as well. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Mark Manners singing with me. Hallelujah.
Hey. I saw you chilling with Dave Matthews, Mark.
Say again?
I saw Mark chilling with Dave Matthews.
Yeah, he chilling with the big wigs out here.
Yeah, you know.
That's what's up. Leia Keister says, good morning. What's happening to you? And Lucia Rodriguez, buenos dias. How are you this morning? Thank you for joining us so early this morning over here on YouTube. Whew, y'all. It is Monday. How was your weekend? You know, like Dave was hanging out with, mega stars and stuff. Mark was hanging out with mega stars. Well, actually, yeah, Dave was hanging out with a mega star. Right.
You got it right.
Yeah, man. So what did you guys do this weekend? Let us know. How was your weekend? What happened? Do anything fun? Anything productive? Carolyn Jack gives us a good morning. Good morning to you as well. Pops called me again last night. Said he had another appointment this morning, so he will not be on. So for those of you wondering, Pops usually gets on and say hi first. Yeah. So gotta let him know what's happening. He told me to give the First Sky family love though. So that's what's up.
Okay, from Vegas with love.
Let's go on and get this thing started. Monday, November 14th, 2022. 22. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor, share the show so we can get as many people on in the conversation as we can. Also, if you're on YouTube and you're more savvy than me, then go ahead and share the show there if you know how to do that.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah, tell a friend at the very least. And like and subscribe and bang on the dilly. Hit the bell, whatever you want to do. And to let you know that we're on this morning. So thank you for joining us. Buddy, how was your weekend, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what I did over the weekend. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but as far as I remember, quite uneventful. Just kind of chilled out. Yeah, just really chilled out at home. I think my lady has some friends visiting in town for their birthday, so we hung out with them at the Airbnb. But it was cold this weekend, man. It was was not really preparing to do much. It was very cold this weekend. And my window on my car has kind of been acting funny, man. So
Mine went
yeah.
out this weekend too.
Your window?
Yep, sure did.
Man, got stuck down for a little bit. I was like,
Right.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, mine got stuck down Friday when it started raining. I was
Oh,
on 90th. I was on 90th, and I was like, I'm about to, I'm about to do like white folks do and just pull into a spot right now, just pay it. And
mm,
I found me a window spot and pulled in, and they hooked me right up.
really? Okay.
Cost me a whole bunch of money, but they hooked me right up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I was just not having it that day. You know how like all kinds of stuff goes on in a day, and then something just the straw that broke the camel's back happens.
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
like, nope, not gonna sit here and get rained on, cold, not gonna happen. Just I'm
Yeah.
gonna deal with this right now. Everything else gotta cease.
Yeah, yeah. So
Ridiculous.
one of those weekends. One of those weekends. Didn't really do much yesterday. Just kind of chilled out with the kids, watching movies. Yeah, kept it light, kept it light.
That's what's up.
Yeah. How about
Uh,
yourself, man? I know you had a show this weekend.
I did, yeah, man. Played at the Benson Theater. It was real fun, real fun. Burlesque show, funk review. And I played in the funk band. The burlesque show was put on by a sister, so
Okay.
yeah, it was different and it was really cool. And it was a packed house and everybody went nuts. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Man,
Lot
it's a
of fun.
beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Yep, yep. Also, we can't forget Wakanda Forever opened this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you go see it yet?
No, I am going again, I'm going as a group with my temple. So we're going this weekend, I want to say. This Sunday coming up. I actually got a lot of things going on this weekend. There's an event at my son's school we're going to. Um a friend of ours just graduated from law school, so he has like a bar association induction that we're going to. It's a lot going on this weekend. So
That's what's up.
yeah, I'm
Well,
glad I didn't do anything this past weekend.
right on, right on. Omaha did it big this weekend. I got pictures from everybody who dressed up in all white and went out as a big group and hit what kind of so the night that I went out, I guess that was not the opening night. I guess it was like an early bird version of I guess everybody knew it was coming out the very next day.
Mm.
So Friday it dropped. We went out Thursday night, I believe, for it was some kind of sneak peek, which is one of the reasons why nobody was at the theater, but there's other reasons why nobody goes to that theater at the same time. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's cold because ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just like people just I don't know, man. I don't know, you know. I
I
don't
mean,
know how they I don't know how they stay in business.
yeah, yeah. If anyone has any idea how the I don't know what I call it the Great Escape, but yeah, the Great Escape, how's staying open, please let us know because yeah, inquiring minds would like to
Well,
know.
that may be you may be hitting the nail on the head with the answer right there because it's not Great Escape anymore, and it changes hands very often. It's the Regal now, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I think it was been like 3 or 4 other companies before in between Great Escape and now. So,
Possibly. I'm gonna call
yeah,
him Great Escape. I'm gonna call him Great Escape.
there you go. Stacy G says, "Good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends. Good morning to you as well. Anybody on the north side ever go to the old Great Escape Theater? We
Yeah,
wondered. Went and saw Black Panther 2 the other day. It was nobody in the audience. Nobody.
man, crickets.
It was so empty. We let little man practice his kung fu moves down around, just run through the aisles, all down by the screen. Yeah, it was bad. But like I said, what I missed was that everybody had planned on going the next day, and Omaha showed out, bro. People
Man,
people showed up dressed to the nines, in respect for T'Challa in a Wakanda white, and it went down. We got some good fun.
man. I think we're gonna be dressed up in our white as well. But yeah. Definitely looking forward to it. I've heard good things. So for those of you who have seen it, let us know.
Yeah.
What you think? What you think?
Also, another thing that happened over the weekend that everybody's talking about is Dave Chappelle hosting Saturday Night Live. I don't know about you. You guys still watch Saturday Night Live at all? Because
No,
I haven't watched it in a while.
no, I do not watch SNL, but I'm definitely gonna finish Dave's monologue and probably try to catch a couple of skits. But I mean, Dave, Yassine,
Yeah,
Talib,
Black Star.
Madeline, yeah,
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 Black Star was on there. Yeah, but people are talking. They're saying the stuff he said about Kanye. They're still trying to cancel Dave, man. They're still trying to. I
yeah,
don't know. I wanted to come on and see if any of the Chad Chimers saw that and watched it and let us know what you thought of that. We'll see. We'll see
yeah, yeah.
what you think.
Anybody catch Dave Chappelle's hosted SNL?
Yep.
What do you think?
Mark Manner says I have a membership to Regal and they they charge $6 for Dasani. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Josh Tate says, "I watched that SNL. It was great, especially the opening monologue." Okay,
Okay. Okay.
there you go. Somebody,
That's
somebody
nice.
praising it. Yep. Of course, it's all in the news that everybody's mad at him. Everybody wants to cancel him over
Of
what
course.
things.
Of
I,
course. But this
he just, I don't think he said nothing crazy.
um, has anyone really? Has
Right?
anyone really?
Well, Kanye's talking a little crazy, bro. Kanye's,
It is Kanye.
yeah, but he getting
It's
he.
Kanye.
You're right. You're right. Like you said, this is a free man talking.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, he's not condemning or calling for harm. I'll say that. He's not calling for harm on anybody. So
Okay. This is true. This is true. He's not.
yeah.
He's not. Yeah. He's
And
not.
I will say there are many other things happening around the world that you should be much, much more outraged about than what Kanye is saying.
That's right. Yeah. Kanye's not telling everybody to storm the White House or nothing. So you're
No,
right.
or not condemning 15,000 people to death.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Slavery still in North Africa. Come on now. If you're gonna be outraged, be consistent. Keep that same energy.
Man. Whew. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. And welcome to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
That's right. We got special guests coming in today. Man, all kinds of people coming in today. As a matter of fact, Chris Bowling is coming in with Brother Qasim this morning. Yes, can't wait to speak to him, man. It's been long enough since he's been on here last. Definitely gonna talk to Brother Qasim. And also we have I'm sorry, Abbie Kretz coming on in from the
Had
from the
brain fart.
documentaries. Yeah, no, I just couldn't get the words out. Documentaries program. She'll be here to talk a little bit about that program. You guys have been very, very responsive to that program, so it's awesome. And also we have Matt Wynn coming in for Flatwater Free Press as well. So jam packed day. This News Monday, most definitely. Gonna welcome all the guests that are coming in today, and can't wait to really speak to them. There's a lot going on that I've been wanting to hear their opinions on. So I'm glad they're coming in today. Mark Manor says, I watched it, thought it was funny. People were coming after Ice-T for appearing in a skit with him. Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that too. This it was funny as heck though, bro. I gotta tell you, man.
Okay, so some good skits, huh?
Yeah. I was very surprised about the skits, but they were very
Okay.
pretty. If you like Chappelle's show, then you're gonna love the skits.
Oh yeah, let me check them.
Mama God in the house, what's happening? Says good morning, First Sky fam. Erica Fell says Chappelle was funny to me on SNL. Yeah, man.
Okay,
Me too.
man. Chappelle will always have a very, very near and dear place in my heart, man. Dave is just
You
that
said
guy.
that's your number one entertainer.
Yeah. Imagine a 6th grade buddy just walking around quoting Dave Chappelle skits. Like that's all. That's how I made most of my friends in the 6th grade, was quoting Dave Chappelle skits and impersonating his characters.
Yeah. Well, we did the same thing, bro. And we was grown out of school.
So imagine me in the 6th grade, like not holding back.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Dave's that guy, man. But even before that, like I've always been a Dave Chappelle fan. I mean, going back to his early, like even Nutty Professor appearances, like you know what I'm saying. Him and the Nutty Professor, yeah. Dave has always been that dude, man. Actually, comedy before I got into music, comedy was like my first love. I wanted to try stand up. I still might one day. I still might.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Speaking of, it's 7:14 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, let's talk about a little bit about what we're going to talk about today because there's some doozies out there.
Yeah. Some of this is actually no laughing matter. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. We do have some updates on some stories, some justice being served. Well, at least in part. There is an update on the whole officer harassing the sister situation. There has been a criminal citing or citation that has been laid down. So we'll dive into that update. Also, a federal grand jury has laid down a decision in the St. Francis Ministries situation. Again, there was a fraud investigation that was underway, and now that investigation has come to a conclusion, and an indictment has been handed down. So we'll dive into those details as well. Also, we're kind of going back into season 3. Spaces, the place was the theme of season 3, and we're talking about some new spaces and places in the Omaha area that some of us may or may not have known about. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Avenue 1 Omaha, but it's a new Exarban-esque area way out in the yonder, way out in the boondocks, if you will. So yeah, we'll talk about that. This is news to me. So yeah, apparently, Paul, you knew anything about this?
Like I said, I just ran across it online somewhere. Like, whole city being built out west. Interesting.
Man. So yeah, definitely love to hear thoughts about that from the chat chimers. Also, speaking of spaces and places on the north side, there is the Omaha Mobile Stage, which is making its rounds and pop-up events in the community. Big shout out to a few creatives in the community that we are familiar with taking advantage of this. But we'll be talking about that coming up as a couple of artists, man. This is definitely something near and dear to our hearts. So yeah, we'd definitely love to talk about that. And then of course, and diving into some national news, it looks like the student loan forgiveness plan is still under scrutiny as a federal judge in Texas has stricken it down. So we'll talk about what that means for the future. I know a lot of our chat chimers, including myself, still dealing with thousands and thousands of dollars of student loan debt. So yeah, we'll definitely dive into exactly what this means for the future of Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. And then we don't really talk about it too much, but man, this is something that a tragedy that happened in our community, man. A shooting took place over the weekend. So again, condolences, love, man. Just it gotta stop. It gotta stop. That's really it. So we'll talk. Actually, might love to hear some thoughts from Brother Qasim, who does a lot of work in gang prevention and things like that. He's coming on with Chris Bowling from the Reader, who just did an article on some of the movements from the BAA. So yeah, man, we're gonna talk about all that and more. As always, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that we're not discussing, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free, and most importantly, let your voice be heard. Again, this is First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul, Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd, the squad, the chat chimers, ghost listeners, everybody's in attendance. It's Monday. Let's go.
Let's do it. What up? What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Say what?
In the morning.
Hello?
Hello? Oh. Hello? Can you hear me?
There you go.
Hello?
First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
That was my bad.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's my bad. Fat finger something.
Oh, you muted me. Okay.
Paul Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners over there on Facebook, over there on YouTube, appreciate you. Nobody on Twitter, let us know if you're on Twitter. Let us know if we ought to keep on messing with Twitter. That's been the question of the last couple of weeks. Is Twitter's getting ugly, but we are on Facebook and YouTube right now as we look for new opportunities and new platforms to be able to broadcast from that we have a little bit more control over. So stay tuned for all those movements. In the meantime, between time, share the show on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, share the show on your page. Let's get as many people talking as we can. And also, if you're on YouTube, do the same if you can as well. Rome's Reviews over on YouTube, singing us some morning funk. Dance with the boogie, get high, because boogie nights are always the best in town. Got to keep on dancing. Hey, we played that. We played that the other night too. That was hot. That's the kind of funk we played at the Hanky Panky show the other night. So
the Hanky Panky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what she called it, the Hanky Panky show. So it was pretty fun. I guess there's gonna be another one in a month or so. So we'll see. Leia Keister over there on YouTube says Dave Chappelle has drawn new criticism this time for his monologue on this week's episode of Saturday Night Live as Anti-Defamation League. Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yep.
The CEO Jonathan Greenblatt argues that the comedian's performance did not just normalize but popularize anti-Semitism. I don't think I agree with the CEO on this one.
All right. I think the CEO needs to. Yeah. We'll I'll just stop. I'll just stop.
Yeah, we definitely can talk about that because if some of the chat chimers feel that is the case too, then I definitely would like to go in on that. Dave Chappelle's definitely a big influence, big part of our lives in a lot of ways. So We definitely keep up with what he's doing and want to hear what Chad Chimers think as well. Erica Feld is talking to Mark Manor saying Ice-T still tries to hang with pimps. For anyone that thinks he's a moral high ground is questionable themselves. But Ice-T ain't never stopped hanging with pimps.
Nah,
Yeah, it's when Ice-T did a bunch of mainstream stuff, people just kind of assumed that he stopped doing all the stuff he was doing before, but nah,
no,
he's still very, very pimpish.
still
Uh,
rolling with Kiko.
Still rolling with him. Michelle Moreno says, "Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Appreciate that." Miss Erica Phil says, "Keep dancing, baby. Keep dancing."
Hey,
Jesse Jean said, "Dave Chappelle's my favorite comedian." Yeah,
man.
mine too. Mine too.
Yeah, I mean, he's still surrounded in controversy. Even before his monologue, like there were writers on SNL protesting him for his so-called homophobia.
Yeah. Let us know if these are some of the things you want to talk about. We definitely are about that too. I know we center things in Omaha as if Omaha is the center of the universe, and we will continue to do that because we're having a local conversation about local things that's happening to us here. But I gotta say, we national things going on also affect us locally,
Oh, yeah.
and even in the entertainment world. So definitely, if you want to talk about it, let us know. And but thanks for the comments so far. Keep them coming. Rose Review says Ice-T isn't in your top 5. You can't be my friend.
Mm,
He's stuck on that one.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, there's a clip floating around with CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, and Nick Cannon having a conversation. Have you seen
Oh,
this?
I didn't know who Nick Cannon was talking to. Yeah,
Yeah. That was Jonathan Greenblatt, who didn't know what buck breaking is. So I will say we all need to educate our own selves.
I
We all
saw
need
that.
education. If you don't know what buck breaking is, we all need to educate ourselves before we actually have this conversation.
I didn't know that's who he was talking to. That is
Yeah.
interesting. Wow. Carolyn Jackson, Dave Chappelle is brilliant. Favorite comedian by far. Erica Phelps says Ice-T was always game sprung, but never really accepted, and only got into the players' ball because of his media exposure. That's what's
See,
up.
pull
A lot
the
of,
sip card.
a lot of those musicians that don't exactly live the life, but they definitely tell about it. Same thing with NWA. Josh Tate says some of what Dave Chappelle says can be perceived as problematic, but he's not definitely normalizing anti-Semitism. It's silly to come at him the way people are. Their haterism isn't going to blow up in their faces. Hmm. Interesting viewpoints, man. Keep them coming. Definitely like to hear about what you guys think about what's been going on with Dave Chappelle lately, and so on and so forth. Um, and if you saw the monologue, if you saw the skits and things this weekend on Saturday Night Live, it's the only time I ever watch it. And I didn't watch it Saturday night. I watched the clips later.
Right.
Saturday Night Live to me just is way out of touch with a lot, and it takes like a Dave Chappelle to come on for me to watch it these days. So I don't know. Yeah, haterism is gonna blow up in their faces. Got it. Yeah, so lots to talk about there when it comes to that part of life. I mean, we don't talk about entertainment much, but that's some
Mhm.
interesting viewpoints on that stuff for sure. A lot of people, as you can see, people get influenced by the people who they're all about. So, and it's interesting to me that there's so much talk about anti-Semitism lately. With like Buddy said, everything else is going on in the world. Really interesting. Really interesting. Erica Felt says, "I'm Jewish, do not represent anyone but me. I have not been consistently a fan of Chappelle, but called my son in to watch SNL because he consistently had me cracking up on the show." Go.
There you go.
With that said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into what we're gonna talk about today because we do have 3 guests coming in today. You know how it gets when we got 3 guests coming on.
Man,
Yeah, we run out of time fast, so let's go ahead and get it rolling. 7:24 already right now. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, what's on the agenda today?
Man, well, we have an update on a story that we covered last week. Again, the case of Officer William Cleese, who was criminally in mischief is the citation that he received, criminal mischief, but he was harassing a sister, putting trash on her vehicle, basically had her fearing, for her life. She had to sleep with protection, was peeking out of the window, doing quite the opposite of what an officer is supposed to be doing as far as protecting and serving. And now it has come out that this is a post that I received from Omaha Scanner, but the Omaha Police Department has announced that Officer William Cleese was criminally cited for criminal mischief. Cleese will be interviewed by Internal Affairs today. So there may be some more updates coming out later today. We will stand by and see. But one of the chat chimers did inform me that Councilwoman Juanita Johnson actually spoke with Chief Todd Schmatter, who stated that the alleged perpetrating officer has been removed from the apartment complex. He has also been put on notice to stay away from the victim. However, there is still concerns for retaliation. So there is still a real fear from the sister that she might be retaliated against, either from this officer himself or maybe from, friends who have the same mentality as this officer. So you don't know. And there is a lot of calls for this officer to be fired. There's a real possibility that he will be fired. But that doesn't make me feel any better, man. This dude is still out there. You know what I mean? This dude is still out there. So again, the fear of retaliation is very, very real. We should, especially now that, he's been evicted, he's been fired, like he has reason to amp up his harassment. Like he can, blame her for his actions and his repercussions. So yeah, this is a real situation. If anyone, I believe a few chat chimers say that this sister is close to their family or friends with some of their children, please look out for her. Let's protect each other. And it's sad that we got to protect each other from the police, but that's what it is.
It's always been like that. I will say too. A lot of the chat chimers have been chiming up and saying this stuff that he's getting right now is not how they explain it. It's not enough. First of all, even you're talking about firing. He's not getting fired. He's only getting a citation. So trash cop is not even getting fired yet. If he does get fired, we're feeling like that might not even be enough. A lot of times cops will get fired for stuff that people go to jail for, as if that's their the equivalent punishment to be
Right.
fired from the police department. So messed up situation. You kind of said it all, man. Got to look out for the sister because he could be retaliating, and we keep our eye on this case because yeah, man, I told you he's gonna get a slap on the wrist for this.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is for me, this is just fuel for a reason to push for this Brady Giglia list, because this could have been avoided. Like this whole situation could have been avoided because this is not the first time this dude has harassed our citizens. This isn't the first time this dude has broken the law as a law enforcer. Again, it's been reported that he was like cussing out nurses during the pandemic because he didn't want to wear his mask in the hospital. Like just that type of guy. That type of guy.
Yeah, he ain't cool.
No, he's not. He's not. And again, if Omaha police, like you saying, he's not, he needs to be fired. He needs to be fired because if Omaha really wants to stand on that golden standard of policing, anybody who does not represent that needs to go. It's simple.
Well, I think he needs to be fired, and he needs some criminal charges as well. I mean, anybody else, any other citizen that would do that would be criminally charged. So
Right.
I think firing ain't enough, and we're not even talking. Like I said, at this point, he's not even talking about. They're not even talking about firing him. So tonight, Patterson said maybe desk duty for a month, but more than that, doubtful. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna get a slap on the
No,
wrist, bro.
no, that's duty ain't enough either.
He's gonna get a slap on the wrist, though. That's what it is. So unless we gonna go in there and make people do something, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Yeah.
is what it is. Vicky Young says, "Good morning, chat chimers with some sunshine. Good morning to you. Thanks for that sunshine because I forgot to tell you it is going to snow by noon.
Mm.
The snow is on the way this afternoon. I know. It's too early to be cussing at people. I know. But anyway, yeah. So we keep an eye on this story. Old trash cop is getting a slap on the wrist right now.
Yeah.
We'll see if it goes any further than that.
I like that name, trash cop, because he's a trash cop, man.
Yeah, dude. It's a hot mess. Hot mess. Let's see here in the chat. Vicky Young says the question still remains: how do we protect the young lady? Right. That's what we were just talking about. We need to try to watch out for her some kind of way, because like Buddy said, the retaliation could come now. He's getting disciplined. He's getting embarrassed. His pictures of what he's done is all over the internet. I'm sure he didn't expect to have pictures of his work all over the place. You
No.
know what I'm saying? Mark Mander says needs to be cleaning up trash in hospitals wearing a mask.
In an orange jumpsuit. Yeah, I'm with it.
He needs to be fired and do community service. Ain't community service picking up trash and stuff like that too?
Yeah. And trash cop needs to pick up trash. I'm with Miss Erica Felt though. There should be more charges than this little citation.
Yes. What did she say? She said there at least
Obstruction of justice.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
obstruction of justice, interfering with an investigation, littering, harassment, stalking, all of those are true. Like the police came and he did not open the door. He did not speak. He did not. Ain't that obstruction of justice?
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So true, so true. 7:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're gonna take a quick break and come right back. We got some special guests in the house. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Call Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd. Start all of you, the chat chimers, all of you, the ghost listeners. Stay tuned. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. And of course, now we have our special guests coming in the house. From the reader, we got Chris, the baby boy Bowling in the house.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. And we also got Brother Qasim from the BAA in the house. How you doing, Brother Qasim?
What's happening?
Hey, man, long time no see. How you been?
I'm good. How about you, sir?
Oh man, we hanging in there, bro. Hanging in there. All right, we got the team in the house right now. What's going on?
Yeah. I'm actually looking through the article right now. Big shout out to my man Chris Bowling, baby boy Bowling, as we like to call him around here. Man, got some pretty good pictures. Chris, again, if the listeners out there remember, we talked several weeks when news broke about the 8 acres that the BAA acquired themselves, emphasis on themselves, and are now pushing to develop and not just acquire, but do something with the land. It's not enough to have something, but you got to do something with it. So definitely appreciate them and everybody who has been volunteering and giving out some things. The Mayor Sanchez has even sent a few gloves out there on our behalf. So we definitely appreciate the chat chimers for making sure that the people out there are taken care of. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. The article is live right now on thereader.com. But yeah, how did the story kind of come together, Chris? How did you hear about this? Yeah.
I met Qasim like a year and a half ago during you guys were doing the flag football league for the kids, and I just was really interested by everything Qasim was doing. I mean, the thing I think that really stuck with me was the quote that like the teams were oh god, I'm gonna forget the names of all the teams, but it was like, you know, we're not Vikings, we're not Huskers, like we're Garveyites, and all these like different names, and I was just like, I've never heard that sort of thing before, and so like I just was really taken by Qasim and everyone with Black Agenda Alliance's, vision and things they were talking about. So anyway, we just kept in touch, and I don't remember when Qasim told me, but he just like randomly just dropped in like, oh hey, and by the way, like we bought some land, and I was like, oh okay, cool, like what are you guys gonna do with it? And he kind of told me about all their plans and the ideas for it, and it was really cool. And then I showed up one day and we chatted, and I took some pictures, and it was just a really great experience. And I mean, anybody who hasn't been able to get down there yet, I don't know if you guys are still working on it or if it's gotten too cold yet, but I would encourage anyone to go check it out.
Yeah, man, some definitely nice pictures. Brother Qasim, can you kind of give us a little backstory about, how you went about acquiring this land and maybe lay out some of the vision? Because we've seen pictures, we see the video walkthrough that you've done. You got your work cut out. So again, where's this going?
I mean, man, we really just, over a period of time, just saved our money, the old school way, and seen an opportunity that presented itself, and we hopped on it. One of the promises that we had made to the community back during the Scurlock and George Floyd situation was that if the community invested in us, then we would invest in the community on a level of demonstrating self-sufficiency as being key. At the top of that list, in dialoguing with the community and with the people, have always been that we needed space for ourselves, and most importantly, that we needed land. So we stayed true to our word and our duty. And the focus is, like right now, Allah is the best of planners. Things happen. I can tell you what our plans are is to establish a facility for our youth, possibly put a gun range in the bottom and stuff so we can have some training going on and so forth and so on. But ultimately, to keep the majority of the land natural, we want to put honeybees and stuff like that, and make it an outdoor outlet for our community and especially training grounds for the children.
Love it, man. You guys are right along with the plan that you always been talking about. It's one thing that I really admire about the Black Agenda Alliance. You guys have talked that talk and walked that walk, and you're consistent with it, and you keep on rolling with it. So I expect nothing less. Every time I hear from you, I'm like, yep, we just one step closer to what we're talking about here. So we keep an eye on stuff too, man, and really try to figure out where we can fit in and help. And a lot of the Chad Chimers, a lot of the people that are associated with First Sky Omaha, friends of, really are keeping their eye on things too and want to try to help and figuring out how we can help more. So I'm glad that your plans are there, because that generates our plans, that generates our ideas on how we can help. And you guys ain't changed up, so it's like we can still figure out how to get there. So we appreciate that. I like the fact you guys are talking about putting the gun range down there, man. I'm not a gun dude myself, but we need a little tactical 77 around here, because you know what I'm saying. Because that's all of it's important. All of it's very important in the movement of uplifting our community, and one of the major ways to do that is protection. Is to make sure that we got protection. Have you gotten any pushback on any of your plans? Have you guys been putting those plans out in the public yet? And have you gotten any pushback on that stuff yet?
Man, our existence alone is a problem. It has been an issue. I don't, it's very dynamic situation. I can't really say that we've gotten any pushback in regard to our plans, but just the BAA alone, representing the way that we do, it almost seems as if anytime Black people discuss wanting to be self-sufficient or finally be able to say that we've done anything for ourselves, it in itself becomes a problem. And it almost seems as if that's the nature. But we haven't had any extreme radical pushback other than just us existing in itself. There's a lot of people that that's with it, and there's a lot of people that are scared to death because we do challenge the norm.
Yeah. For sure. A couple questions in the chat real quick. Mama Guy says, why a gun range accessible to youth? One question. Also, Wanda Lewis is asking, what are some of Qasim's thought on the recent acts of violence within the community, if you will?
As far as the gun range for the youth, it'll be both for youth and adults. As parents have they can make the choice as to whether they want their child to learn those things or not. We don't seem to question the NRA or other organizations that are set up in white communities. These white parents traditionally and are teaching these children how to do these things from the time they're able to hold a firearm all the way through. Teaching them how to hunt and all those things. These are the realities of this world. One for self-defense and the other is for survival. That's our take on it, especially in our situation. And then as far as the recent responding to Sister Wanda, when we talk about the violence in the community, we have to be able to deal with the fact that we are suffering from a moral death. Okay. And I used to be the shooter. I used to be the hustler. I used to be all of these different things that society shunned, you know. And there were brothers that came into my life and they began to deal with this right here. They didn't come with grant money. They didn't come with $1 million on the table. They came and they dug into this. And that's the approach that we take. As you can see, we have what's called now being rolled out the Beeee Omaha Warrior Society. Well, within that capacity, it's not just about survival. The essence of being a warrior is to be civilized and to establish families and clean the brothers and the sisters up in whom want to take that challenge. You know, so this thing, as far as the violence and stuff go, these are all symptoms of oppression. Okay, and we have to deal with them as such. And there are extreme circumstances that we face. Therefore, it's going to take extreme, or what would be considered to be extreme, because we're considered to be extreme. But there's going to take some extreme measures. So that's my response to that.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking about while you were speaking, man, you guys don't really talk too much to press, and you guys follow the law, even though you are, people consider you extreme. It's funny. Anybody in any other race can walk down the street with a gun. If you walk down the street with a gun, you're extreme. And I find that to be very, very interesting. I remember during that big rally at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, where all the white folks that I know from other parts of the city were coming in very, very nervous, seeing you standing there armed, and I'm like, there's a cop standing here armed too. You're not nervous about that? You're not nervous? So it's really, really interesting to me how they consider those things, and that causes you guys to move a certain way in the community. One of the ways that you move is you don't really talk to press too much. What got you interested in what happened between you and Chris Baby Boy Bowling over here that made it that feel pretty good about being able to share your story with him and have him represent a lot of the stuff that you're doing out into the larger metropolitan area through the reader. How did that come about?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people don't know, but Chris John from the Reader laid that groundwork. Okay, for Chris come from a strong lineage. We respect John and we love John, and John has been getting down with me, man, and Leo Lewis since we were, man. This thing go way back. Okay, we've been pulled over in the car before with John. And it came from the police's mouth. This was back in the day, and they said, what are you doing riding? This is verifiable, Leo, and the rest of it said, what are you doing riding around this neighborhood with these two?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? This is kind of odd. This came from the police, Omaha Police Department. And at the time, John, we was just giving John a rundown of what was going on in the city. We was riding around in Leo's Lincoln. He had a Lincoln at the time with pitch black windows. Gang unit jumped out on us. And then once they found out that John was who he was, they kind of was like, oh, we don't want this to become more than what it is, yada, yada. But we look at Chris as being a brother. We look at him as being authentic. He hasn't showed us anything other than that. He comes around, he spent time with us, and he's always welcome. And our home is his home. And that's one thing that, though we create spaces particularly for us, there's beautiful people in this world of all walks, man, and we accept that, so we look at him. He's spent genuine time with us, and everything that me and him have dealt with, he have not reported. There's a lot of stuff that him and I talk about, and he comes and be a part of that, don't always hit the paper, which makes it even more authentic, but as of now, he's like a brother to us.
Man. We feel the same way. He laughs every time we call him Baby Boy, but he knows now that Baby Boy is a term of endearment in the Black community in a real way.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you spoke on John Houston too, man. John Houston has been a very good partner he's a brother to me. Like he's beyond a partner we haven't had situations that were as hectic as the one that you just described, but we've had situations with us just built the friendship and the brotherhood over time. And I'm glad that you spoke that out. A lot of people still don't really trust the reader because there's some white cats over there, but like you said, there's people of all walks that are allies and are cool, and like more than friends, bro, brothers. These
Yeah.
cats are like fam to us. So I appreciate that very much, baby boy. I hope that you taking this all in, bro. You got some heads in here saying,
Oh yeah. No, I mean
good job.
it's very nice to hear everybody say nice things about the reader and about us. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, good things just happen when you put good energy out into the world. I mean, I'm not a very spiritual person, but I guess I'm kind of becoming more spiritual the older I get, because it just seems like when you put out good energy in the world and you have the right intentions, that good things come to you. And like, I would consider Qasim a very good, relationship that we've built. Like, yeah, ever since that first day at the USFL and till now, I mean, and it's definitely not over. There's just going to be more things to talk about. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really great, but it's just like he said, it goes back to John and the people that, showed John the way. And it's just trying to put good energy out into the world. And so, there's many more stories that we need to do and more work to be done, but it's definitely nice to, hear all those good things.
Let me ask you a question. When you so now that you have gotten a taste and you're writing something now, and like Brother Kasim is saying, you guys are having conversations even deeper. What's your we always like to know about the behind the scenes, what it took for you to get the story, what kind of pushback you got from other sources that you went to,
Mm-hmm.
and also you personally, what sticks out to you personally that you feel like needs to really be discussed, and that the people that you're speaking to through the reader need to know about the BAA in particular.
Yeah. About the BAA in particular, I guess I would say that I think that this is something that like the larger community needs to hear. But the thing that I kind of keep coming back to with the BAA is that, and Qasim and I have talked about this before, but no community is a monolith, and there's lots of people that like when the city or some kind of power at B kind of says like, oh, we speak to the community. Well, it's like, okay, who are you talking to? And I know Kimmer is listening, so like she'll definitely agree with this, but it's like, who are you talking to? Like, are you talking to the same people you talk to every time who maybe the whole community doesn't, see as like, this is the one person who represents me? Are you talking to a lot of different people? Are you talking to no one at all and saying you're talking to people? So I think it's like in lieu of having, like actual government transparency, you have groups like the BAA who rise up, who want to provide a voice for people who aren't being heard, to really push for things so that they can hold whatever institutions they are accountable, just by, like Qasim said, like existing and like being who you are, because speaking up and being like authentic, I think is kind of scary for some people to hear, because they don't want the added complexity, or they don't want people kind of doing all that. As far as the story, though, I did want to plug this before I got off the show. I mean, one of the really cool things, and this is kind of almost an aside, but so Qasim's cousin Jamar, also a member of the Black Agenda Alliance, and a part of acquiring this land, he has a really interesting story that I only found out, when I talked to him for the story. Like, I was nearing the end of like the time I was going to be there. It was like a Sunday morning in early October, pretty cold. And I was just like, you've been on this land before. Like, what's your favorite part of this land? Like, could you like just describe it to me? He's like, oh, I'll do you better. Like, I'll take you there. So like we walk around and we walk to like this little creek, and he just told me this whole story about how, he used to come to this land. Yeah, that's Jamar right there. He used to come to this land when he was a little kid, and this land is in Florence, like pretty far north Omaha. And he would come here. He'd be running away from his mom or his foster care family, and this was the place where he would find like solace, refuge, peace, whatever you want to say. Just do kid stuff like build forts and build bridges and hang out with friends and whatever. I mean, obviously it's like there's a really sad reality over here, but in here, it's all okay. Then he finds out later in his life that his grandfather, who he hadn't, I think he'd been kind of estranged from, his grandfather and his siblings owned this land.
Wow.
And they had ideas to develop, a neighborhood on it that hadn't really worked out for one reason or another. But when he was, passing away, his mom was talking to his grandfather and was like, you should leave him something. Like, maybe you should leave him that land you guys own, not knowing the significance of it to Jamar. And so now, all this sort of happens. And so it's like this, going back to putting out good energy into the world and having good things happen. It's this whole full circle thing. And so what I really liked that he said was, this is my opportunity to give the community and kids, what I used to have. That sense of peace and a place to call your own. And there was even a thing where, I think it was Qasim's daughter and her friend were like building like a little fort or something. It's just like kids putting up like branches and making a little house or something. But we're walking by and he's like, that means so much to me. Like, I can't even tell you. So I just want to highlight that and kind of bring it back around to the community aspect of it, because that was just like, he was telling me that and I was like, are you serious? And then we're like looking over this little creek and he's like, yeah, this is where I used to write stories and songs, and that would, be my therapy. And I was like, are you serious? Like, this is like, I'm not going to say like Hollywood movie, but like maybe Hallmark TV movie or something. Like, it was just a very like beautiful, nice little moment. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Quality TV, you mean quality TV.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Hey, man. Go ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna say, man, as Brother Qasim said, Allah is really the greatest of planners, man. Like, you can't make that up. You can't write that story any better. Like a full circle moment about that. And I'm wondering, were you aware of this, Brother Qasim, when y'all were planning coming up with this plan, eyeing this land? Were you aware of that?
I was. The way things came together and some of the stuff that we had to kind of clean up, I was aware. But things happen so fast, man. It's just like sometimes it's really overwhelming, and being able to process and then spew it out, I was definitely aware. It's just, Allah is the best of planners, man.
Man, Allahu Akbar.
Bro, you were sitting there telling the story, and I'm thinking, I grew up in California, pretty much in the city. There was a field in the back of my apartment complex. I used to hop that wall and go out there, dig forts, run around in the woods. I'm old, so this is like when Return of the Jedi came out, and I thought I was in Endor, like chilling, waiting for the Ewoks to come through, like, you know what I'm saying? But and just like, it's so important, that little public space, that little space it wasn't even a public space; it was an empty lot with some raggedy trees, and I was imagining whole films and stuff while I was running through there. It meant so much. So I can imagine like doing this for the public spaces like that, and natural spaces like that are so important for kids to be able to just let their imaginations go. So I'm glad that you're talking about like part of this land being for that, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Chris. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think like the manicured parks and all that is, it's definitely really nice, and you need that. But like, yeah, even for me, it's like, I remember like we used to like make little movies like out in like the backyard where we had some like woods or whatever, and it's like that was where you could really let your imagination run wild. And when you can let your imagination really go, you can like forget whatever's going on in the real world, and like I don't know. It's just really, really necessary for kids and for anybody to do that.
Man. So speaking of that, I do want to speak a little bit more to the Warrior Society that you say you're rolling out. If I'm not mistaken, this is an expansion on some of the things that you're already doing, because I do know beyond just the flag football league, Brother Qasim, you do coach like self-defense classes and you do nature things with the youth already. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So how is the Warrior Society, I guess, kind of building on that?
The Warrior Society, yesterday we did a live and we was down at the B&B Boxing Club where we spend a portion of our time getting right. And it's designed to again cultivate the men. Particularly, I think that anybody who understands our situation, whether you want to deal with it metaphorically or literal, dealing with the story of Pharaoh, killed a man, spared the women and children, and our circumstances and our situation and everything that we're going through in our community, all the way from the question that I was asked earlier about the violence, it all come down to the lack of men. You see what I'm saying? Intentionally intentionally destroy us and discredit us and try to take from us and disarm our society morally by breaking down the men, So we want to return to that, man, and it all, I mean, even if you come to the football games and everything that we do, we arm those games and the community functions. We feel obligated to protect. You see what I'm saying? This is our duty. This is our shield. This is what we ride out on. A lot of what you guys don't know, I don't want to speak on any names, but even most recently, some of the funerals that we had, we're called to go and man those funerals. One, because we have a relationship with either the victims or the community in general. And then two, it's the thing to do, and it's sad, but it's a reality that on all levels, in all scopes, we need protection. So I mean, it's just it's all connected. Things take time to build and then to manifest and stay consistent. So the warrior society is basically that's the more so military portion of what we have going on. And it's all in love. We're not out here to hurt nobody. We're not out here to do nothing crazy, but what civilized nation do you guys know of that don't have a defense mechanism? Look at what we're going through. Look at the sister who just got trashed on her car, man. Look at all of this stuff that we go through, man. Let's be real. You see what I'm saying? I do, before we go any further, if possible, I want to give a huge shout out, man, to Monkey Man Tree Care.
Yeah.
Okay. They came through, man, and these are beautiful, beautiful people, man. They came through with their equipment. They came down to the land, and they've been extremely consistent, and they've helped us remove all types of debris and all types of stuff, man. And Monkey Man Tree Care, man, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to them before we carry it off.
Man, no, I appreciate that. We got a comment. It's Sister Wanda Lewis in the black version of the Boy Scouts, which I was a Boy Scout, so it's nice to see that we have our own community version. It's a beautiful thing, and it's kind of hitting my heart, man, because I did have a conversation with Mama God over the weekend, just about family structure. She's talking to me about my family and my wife and my kids, and she was giving me a little bit of her experience, saying she remembers like government agencies coming into the house to make sure that there wasn't a man in the house so her mother could get welfare. These are real things that people had to go through.
It's still going on.
Exactly. Like, and just to hear my mom have those memories of agencies making sure she did not have a man in the house.
That's right.
And I have daughters, so I can only imagine what their life would be like if I wasn't in their life. So the work that y'all doing, man, I definitely appreciate it. I don't want anybody who hears this to misconstrue any negative militantism. Like, these are men protecting their community as they should. So with that, what kind of buy-in are you getting from the community? Are you getting a lot of engagement? How can people get involved? We need to make sure that you're not pushing the car alone.
Yeah, right now we have one membership meeting a month. The thing about the BAA is like it grows, man, and then it's like, okay, we gotta assess some things, and then so we'll be opening up membership here to every last Sunday of every month at the Kamani Center, 4200 North 30th. So I mean, that's pretty much that. You can find us on Facebook. We have a few pages and stuff like that. Black Agenda Alliance public page, and then of course me, Qasim Shabazz. So anybody who want to get involved and stuff like that, you know, we're definitely accessible. Omaha isn't that large.
Right.
I just want to jump into the chat here real quick. Erica Phelps said, "Yep, they counted toothbrushes, and my mother had to explain why she had two." Talking about the government agencies coming into the house, make sure there ain't no men in the house. Also, Kimmer Snipes says that Kasim is one of the few people who reached out to talk about what was happening in South O during 2020 in Southside Terrace. So that's what's up. I'll give you some props there. Tanaya Patterson says the youth are angry, even grieving. Their friends snuffed out, and then at home, not productive. Scant avenues in this city keep youth occupied. Work opportunities nearly non-existent. Recreation nearly non-existent. Just sad. When I was a kid, there was a lot more going on for the kids, even when poor. So I think everybody's real happy that you're talking about what you guys are talking about doing with this land, especially having some free expression, allowing the kids to have a free safe space to come and think freely, but also some regiment, some activities for them to be able to get themselves together, take care of self, be organized. All these things are really incredible. Kimber Snipe says I was talking to 360 every week and really getting no response.
Mm.
So it's really interesting how that kind of thing happens. Just to let you guys know right now, it's 8:01. If you're keeping track of time and believe in such the concept, this is First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd. We're in the house right now with Brother Qasim and Brother Baby Boy Bowling. It's going down from the reader, and there's an article out there to check out. Did we already put that article in the chat?
I got you. I'm dropping the link.
Grab
now.
that real quick. Cool. So we'll drop that article in the chat. Definitely check the article out and get some more knowledge about what's going on, man. There's only a few organizations out here that I feel like are of action, and the Black Agenda Alliance is one of them. And then there's a way that we think about things when it comes to us in the Black community here. We kind of think of ourselves as a nation of individuals. And like Brother Qasim said, you can't have a nation without having protection of that nation, finances. There's so many things. Land. You need to own land. A nation needs to have a home. So there's a lot of things that's happening out here, and we have to continue to think of ourselves that way so we can build each other up. Speaking of that, this is the season of follow the money. So I do want to ask, how does the BAA get financed? Do you guys take donations? How is it that you guys have accumulated the funds that you have in order to buy the land? Anything that you want to share? Of course, we're always saying with the questions that we ask, whatever you're comfortable sharing, because we don't want to put nobody on blast or put nobody's business in the street. But would like to know about that side of things. Mostly because we're asking to be able to help.
Okay, so we have we raise our own money. We have never received a grant. We'll probably never be able to receive a grant because we are considered in the state to be a 501c4. And with the 4, you are a political, moral, and justice platform, whereas a 501c3, you are not. You could receive those funds and stuff like that, but in order for us to be self-sufficient and continue on with our approach and to kind of lock ourselves in how the money system goes and stuff like that. So we are 100% self-sufficient. We do take donations, BAA of Omaha, Cash App, and we have a PayPal setup as well. But other than that, we raise our own money, man. We go to work. We work very hard. We pay dues once a month. Some of us more than others. And the reward of doing so, man, is second to none. You got a lot of our organizations, they compete. A lot of our division is behind that funding.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of our issue is because we rely on that funding. Take a lot of the funding away from these organizations, and it dismantles right away.
There is no organization.
There is no organization. You see what I'm saying? So I like how Jay put it. He said you can't be free until you have your own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I cannot be a part of the generation that dropped the ball in such a manner in which and where when I was young and now that I'm a little older, we've gotten here and we arguing over art funds, or we arguing over this fund or this X, Y, and Z. We gotta do better. we talk all this. We're great. We come from this and that. Well, then let's be that then. You see what I'm saying? There's no reason we can't generate our own money, our own revenue, and look out for each other. That just makes no sense.
Yeah. Heard it several times over the past weeks in multiple conversations that I've had with the African American community, as just in itself generates trillions and trillions of dollars. I'm not sure the exact figure, but as a nation, just the African American community, we are more wealthy than Mexico. The whole country of Mexico, as a community, we are wealthier than that. If we focus our dollars, then we can do whatever we want. Support whoever we want. Nobody in our community, no truth speakers, no brothers, no sisters could ever get canceled, because we would have them if we focused.
That's real. Really appreciate you brothers coming on, man. Anything else that you want to leave us with before you get out of here? Chris, anything that you got coming up that's associated with this article? I know you guys are always writing a series of articles on stuff. So is this just one of many BAA exposés happening?
Well, there's definitely nothing official about BAA stuff in the future, but it's definitely not the last BAA story. And I mean, you'll see them come up in my stories also. So they're involved in one way or another. What else is going on? I've been looking in really deep into mental health and the intersection between mental health and the criminal justice system. And so if any listeners want to talk about that, if they've ever had, a family member who, has been, it was a mental health issue, but it got treated like it was a criminal issue, or just thoughts they'd like to share with me. Here, I can put my email in the private chat. Anybody that wants to get in touch with me can. But yeah, I don't know, you guys have probably talked about it on the show, but the county has got $55 million to they want to build a new mental health facility. And so a lot of people want them to do that, but it's kind of this thing where it's like everything is so chaotic and bad that anything you do is good, but also anything you do is not going to be the right decision to like 90% of the people involved. So it's a very complex issue.
Yeah, right. Yes, especially with the mental health and the beds and the medication, a very convoluted conversation. But looking forward to your work. Again, as a journalist, always doing good work. So we appreciate you as always. And Brother Qasim, man, we definitely appreciate you. Someone did ask, as the temperature is dropping, are y'all still working on the land? Is that on hold, or where is that?
Yeah, we'll be down there maybe another couple of weeks. Next Sunday we'll be down there.
Okay.
Probably around about 11 o'clock, hanging signs, and there's just a few more things that we got to get done, so we'll be there.
Okay. Well, please, y'all tap in.
Yep. Really appreciate you brothers coming out, man. Let's do it again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Like I said, bro, you guys are the only ones that's really, really acting on what's happening here. We trying to be the communications conduit, and we feel like that's our action, and your action is steps further than that into what we're all trying to do, which is uplift this Black community out here. So appreciate y'all in a big way. All right, peace. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Baby Boy Bowling and Brother Qasim Asad.
Man,
Black Agenda Alliance, man. I really appreciate the things that they do over there in a big way. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back and jump into a couple more things. We got another guest coming up soon, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. Stay tuned. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. I'm getting some messages from some of the ghost listeners listening right now, wishing they can come on and speak, but they're at work. So appreciate you guys listening in. If there's any parts of this show that you missed, you can always go back and check out the show a little later on the day on First Sky Omaha, the Facebook page, Friends of First Sky Omaha, and also we're on YouTube and Twitter. So straight up, appreciate everybody that's joining us, and that's where we're at. Check it out. Sounds like we need to be checking out what's going on with 360.
Yeah.
So we should have gave Baby Boy that mission before he got off. Looks like it looks like people are saying that the Omaha, what is it called? Omaha 360. She said I was thinking about 360 every week and really trying to get no response. She said Ghost Listener 402 said 360 is a joke. 16 years of what? Bring them on the show. Follow their money. Kimber Snipes says if they come, Ghost, the director is also on the OPS board. I think it would be a good convo. Sounds like it. His lack of results requires several shows, Ghost Listener 402 said. So yeah, lots to look into there for sure. Kimber Snipes says awesome segment. Yeah, man. I'm glad that we got to check in with the BAA. Those guys are somebody I'm always trying to talk to. So Kimber Snipes says Chris knows already. So I'm sure digging in too. Rome's reviews is loving the guests. Appreciate that. So yeah, man, appreciate everybody that chimed into the chat. Thanks for all your thoughts and questions for the brothers there. Really appreciate that, and we'll have them on again for sure, and talk some more stuff. So see what they got coming up next, man. I'm really anxious to help them, to figure something out to how we can slide in and help in the action here that they're taking. So that's what's up, man.
For sure.
I love that there's going to be an outdoor space for the kids to run around, safe space. Out here in Nebraska, it's hard to go into the woods and feel safe if you're a certain hue. So, for them to have some woods and some actual place for kids to be able to go and feel free and safe to be sounds great.
And also get some skills, some usable skills to be able to, defend their communities and, hunt, survive. Yeah. Very usable skills. So yeah, big shout out to the BAA. If you can get involved, please do so. As I mentioned, please don't make them, push the car themselves.
There you go. Hey, we're gonna do a little switch up here. I know I wanted to jump into a story real quick, but we're gonna go ahead and bring on our next guest because I know personally that she has another appointment coming up. So let's bring in Abbie Kretz from the Documenters program. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, all.
How are you this morning?
I'm here. Yay.
Welcome back.
Is this early for you?
No.
Okay.
It's not, but I'm just not much of a morning talker. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to be here and I have my little Mr. Rogers mug. So
that's right. Yeah. Bro, she gave me the best idea for a First Sky Omaha mug. It was based on this Mr. Rogers mug. It's Paul B with the sunglasses on, and like when the cup is full and hot, then the sunglasses are what is it, off?
Whatever you want. So like he has his blazer on, and then when you fill it up with a hot beverage, he puts his cardigan on just like he did when he was at home.
Nice.
So same with for Paul.
Yeah. Shades
on and off. This is in the swag section of the website, everyone.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. Appreciate that. Totally stealing that idea. Doing it. Well, welcome back. Thank you for joining us this morning. I really appreciate you coming on and all the work that you're doing for Documenters. You guys are rolling right now. Documenters is rolling. Yeah. How's it feeling?
Good. There's a lot of things going on in the city. But we have folks who we've already done a couple of orientations and have folks up and going to the meetings and a lot of training and just mentoring at this point. So it's really exciting that at least we're up and going. It's definitely been a learning curve for all of us as we get to do that. But it's exciting because it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the ball rolling. The snowball shall grow. How many documenters do you have mobilized right now?
Maybe 6.
Okay. Okay.
It's very much on like an ad hoc basis. So I think with that, because I know I told you all 12, which is a biblical and not just biblical number.
It's a good
But
number.
yeah, we're always looking for more too because there are tons of meetings. Even just this week, I sent out an email. I believe there are about 7 meetings that we were interested in tracking in 1 week.
Mm,
That's not normal, and that doesn't even include the like the county commissioners,
Mm.
but like school board. There's also one of the juvenile justice commission that is out there that I'd like to start tracking too, from the kids jail and like library board. So I think there's just like a lot of opportunities that people can be involved, maybe not on a weekly basis, but monthly. And so definitely just kind of it's an anomaly as well.
okay. Okay. We do know a few people have. We had Deshaun Cunningham on, who has released a few reports on the documenter's website, which we do urge people to go ahead and check out. But as people, get in the swing of going to these meetings, getting this information, documenting this, what is the next step after those reports, or what is the intention to do with that information?
So once we kind of develop our base and have a lot more information available on the website, we'd like to explore different ways to like publicize the information or how we get it out there.
Mm.
Like we have the notes up online, so if anyone wants to go to documenters.org under Omaha, you can go ahead and see the news that we've published. But we really would like to explore like different ways that people get the information. So is it um, via video or like what would you say, like just voice audio, but also like doing presentations or newsletters or different kind of um, short clips,
Mhm.
because I mean, I just people don't read as much and that's fine, but then how do they get information that's pertinent and
Right.
know? And I think also how do we get things out ahead of time so that even as we look at these agendas, um, or just look at the notes for the like what's going to happen in the next month, how do we make sure that we get that information out to people who could maybe do something with it,
Right.
um, before the next meeting.
So
So
you were working with news groups and stuff like that to get that
Mhm.
stuff out as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but then even like other nonprofits or who else is out there that we'd have an audience that we could go talk to as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. Just want to remind people, if you don't know what the Documenters program is, it's a program where people are actually paid to go and document certain meetings, city council stuff, and whatever it is that we think that we need to be public meetings that we need to be keeping track of that we don't always have the time to see and participate in ourselves. So they come back with a report. And one of the challenges is to get people to go to be able to do that in the first place, and then also the second challenge is to have them come back and relay the information in a way that people want to hear and see and meet people where they're at, which is usually like this. They're right here all the time. So if we can put things together for them to be able to do that. I met Daryl Holiday, which is one of the co-founders of the Documenters program. It's out of Chicago, City Bureau out of Chicago, and the program, just looking at how what they have done in Chicago has been huge, and now it's spread to a lot of different states. Omaha being one, which is what we really really needed. I'm glad to see Dewan Lamont Hayes on here, who was part of some of those early conversations about getting the documenters over here, which is really cool. He's saying Mayor Gene Stothard has 2 town halls, one today, and tomorrow.
Mm.
Might be one of those good. It's interesting that she's doing town halls all of a sudden too. I think a lot of the conversations that's been happening has been about how they have not been communicative. So all of a sudden now town halls are happening, which I think is interesting. So
And they're gonna be live, right? Not virtual because she'll be in town. Ooh.
Ooh, boots. Singers, singers.
It's only Monday morning, folks.
But we love it. We love it. We love it. It's true. It's only true. And that's a good question. And hopefully the documenters will be there to let us know how that goes and what's talked about. But that is a good point as far as, again, all of a sudden there are town halls and things like that. Have you seen, now that it's known documenters are in the area, people are going to be coming to these meetings, have you seen a change from public officials, and have you received any pushback?
No and no. I
Okay.
think elected officials are more aware, but no pushback just yet.
Okay.
I think once we kind of build up the team a little bit more, and get more I think once we have more of a stronger base of information as well, I think there will definitely be pushback. That's just the reality of it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just information that they're reporting, or that they're saying, so we're just reporting back on it.
Right.
Yeah, and that had me thinking about that too. Like a lot, I know a lot of people that signed up or that wanted to sign up for this are also activists. So is the training having to be like, you guys got to tamp down the activism here and just record in during these meetings? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it really is about being a journalist and being present. I mean, the job of the documenter is to go and report what's going on for others.
right.
I think in the process, we're also recognizing that if you feel called more to like to be more of an activist or feel the need to speak, then maybe we just need to kind of steer you to a different meeting, and not that one per se. But I think there's plenty of opportunities as well. It's just we don't want to we want to make sure that there's not a conflict of interest. Um, so it's just yeah. I mean, the job is just to report what's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's important to point out a certain level of objectivity, because we just don't want this thing to fall. There's a certain need for it, and speaking of that pushback, if there is a certain level of objectivity that is not present, we've already seen certain entities in the community get questioned on their media credentials and try to get blocked from certain reporting on certain entities and meetings and things like that, which is why we have the documenters. So yeah, anyone interested, please keep that in mind. Objectivity.
Yeah, I mean that's the point. Like we don't want anyone to come back and question our validity, do we? We're reporting what's going on, but we also know people are smart enough to reflect upon what's going on and do something about it. So we're just getting the information to people so they can act on it.
yeah.
If I can say one more thing, the other thing that
Absolutely.
we've kind of gotten going, if you check out documenters.org as well, under the meeting section for Omaha, we have a list of, we're finally beginning to like scrape all the websites. And so we have one location where you can find about those 62 entities that we're looking to track.
Hmm.
So you can find all of the meetings that they have in one spot. And so as I was saying, like this week is pretty booked. You even have like Metro Community College Board of Governors, Board of Health this week, Police and Fire Pension Board as well. So those, I mean, it's finally we have one location where all meetings within the county and the city are happening.
That's
And
awesome.
rather than having to like manage the 1980s website from the city.
Man. And these are all this week. It's several meetings this week.
Yeah, it's a very big
Wait a minute, slow down, buddy. I see streetcar authority meetings, so they're still meeting about the streetcar. That's crazy. Yeah,
school
board of
board.
governors, Metro. Yeah, that's interesting. How did you come up with the list of meetings that what who how do you choose which meetings that we should be going to?
It's basically based on like in talking to people, but also like looking at the priorities that the community has said. There's like a county engineer I've learned. Um, I don't really think people want to know much about engineering or air conditioning at this point. It's just kind of knowing as well like where we can put our resources.
Right.
Um, and so looking at some of the more high priority um, areas that we want to
Yeah.
look at first.
Here you go, Miss Erica Felt. We're putting this in the chat. You can go right to it on this link. Documenters.org reporting. This is the Omaha. So this is the Omaha one. The page you had up had like 5 or 6 different cities.
Mhm.
Um, and it just hits me like what an important program that we have. That's only 5 cities, 6 cities deep right now. Like interesting stuff. It's so needed as well. Wanda Lewis says there are more like activators than activists open to the dialogue.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
The Kimber Snipes in the chat is talking about. I guess she's talking about the Mayor Jean Stothard had some of those kind of town halls before the pandemic. Not often as they should have. She says we'd have a whole of South Omaha one at the same night as the South South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance meeting. That's interesting. I wonder if she's doing that on purpose. Uh, But anyway, I like the fact that the documentaries is in place and you can go to what does the information look like now? So people that are uploading information from what they're documenting at the meetings that they are, could we pull up a page to go to the site to see what that looks like?
Sure.
Um, and as you were saying earlier, right now it's in the form of articles, and you're trying to expand to do more audio pieces and short video pieces and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So currently we're using Google Docs to publish what's going on.
Okay.
Um, and so folks can go on and basically it's just kind of showing what's happening in the meeting, who's talking, who's saying what. We're not transcribing it because that would be too much information and folks can like watch the videos, but
Right.
really like showing a summary of what's happening. So the votes, um, next steps, what else we have, questions that they may have, and then
Hmm.
kind of just showing this is what was going on and trying to simplify things as well. I've noticed in terms of like watching some of these meetings, it's my own opinion. People say the same things a few times. I'm sure
Right.
we all do. But we don't want to like write that out the same over and over.
Yeah.
And so trying to make it into a more simplified version so people can read it in, within a few minutes.
Now, and these are city council meetings, and city council meetings are televised, so they can go back and watch the video on these. Which meetings are the ones that are not televised, or that are not, that the public
Recorded.
doesn't really know about? Yeah, right.
Like I would say, like I'm still learning a lot about that too. I was gonna look at the list that I had for this week. Um, Most of the ones at City Hall are recorded,
Mm.
or at least televised. The Board of Health, I've been able to watch that via Zoom, but I'm not sure if it's televised
Mm.
or like recorded for later. The same with the library board. You can see those. The Douglas County Justice Center, I do not believe are televised. So
Mhm.
that's why we want to try to get notes out on most of those other ones too.
Yeah. Kimber Snipe says this is awesome, and simplification is the key. I totally
Yeah.
agree. This is, I mean, we've been talking about this before this program came to town. We've been talking about it because we have chat chimers. Some of the chat chimers keep up with this, the videos. Some of them go down to these places, but we can't ever get like a consistent amount of individuals to show up to these meetings, represent by just documenting what's happening. And then this, for us personally, this is great to be able to like dig into this resource, come back and discuss these things here, which is what we do. So I love it.
And the other thing too, I think, as we go back, also with the website, we can search for certain terms or certain people. So if we wanted to look for what's being said about certain issues or what certain individuals are saying, we can always go back and search for that on the website too. So
Yeah.
that's really nice.
It's interesting. Interesting. I do want to point out also, for anyone who might just be hearing about this, might not be familiar. Again, this is a paid position. These people are getting paid to go out and gather this stuff. This isn't just volunteer people, spending their time doing that. This are people who are getting paid to do this, which is a big help. To incentivize people to fill these positions. So all here for this program, and again, hopefully more and more people will be interested in filling these positions. Speaking of that, I guess how has that been going as far as recruitment of documenters? Are you getting a lot of applications, or are the orientation classes filling up, or what does that look like?
I get a lot of people that are interested. We have a lot of students who are interested, which is good too. The only thing is it's the end of the semester, so they have a lot of projects going on. The orientation, I'm just going to be doing them more kind of ad hoc, I would say. So as people come through, just providing those trainings, just to again develop kind of the team of folks to go out more. So if anyone is interested, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk through that with you. Yeah, I think there's a lot of interest. It's just a matter of like finding someone's niche. I think the other thing too, as you mentioned, like this is a paid position because most people don't have the ability to go to them, but it can also be hard for people to go even though they are paid because they already have another job when these meetings are held. So that's
Are there
just
any
the reality.
requirements, or is there anything that would disqualify somebody from being able to become a documenter?
No, I mean they just can't talk at the meeting, but
Okay, so age requirements, there's
I mean there are child labor laws that we can't
yeah,
they're cracking down on those now too. So
yeah.
finally.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So it is pretty wide open.
And I was just gonna say too, like I think if there's an interest for somebody and they want to learn, like we're happy to teach them.
And that was actually my next
That's
question.
the biggest thing, like, and then we can find somebody's niche too. I think as we develop these other like tools that people can eventually use to record, like people are going to bring different skill sets to this as well. And so if people want to propose different ways that we can begin to do this work, I'd be happy to chat with you too.
So don't necessarily have to have a master's in civics to do this thing.
No, does that even exist? I don't even know.
It needs to. It needs to exist. So just to let people know, it's 8:30 right now. If you believe in the concepts of time, we're with Abbie Kretz, who is with the Omaha chapter of the Documenters program, and you have about 6 people there. You were shooting for 12, so you definitely have more openings. People that are interested, you in the chat chimer section, and also the ghost listeners. If you have anybody, or you in particular, are interested in doing some of this kind of work that's so important to this part of the journalism scene here in Omaha, this news gang that we got, then we definitely would say get a hold of Abbie and sign up, and you can work around your schedule. There's a lot of stuff that she can organize and put together, and you can hit her up at her personal email, which I'm putting in the chat right now. Definitely hit her up and let her know that you're interested in that. Following the money on this real quick. How is Documenters funded?
Currently, we get foundation support from Sherwood Whites and Lozier. So we're just starting up. We're looking at obviously getting more support and then developing other ways that we can get like membership or individual donors, like $5 or whatever too would be great.
Okay.
So, just a one-person show right now, so just trying to get the program up and going first.
So it's just you. There's no assistants, no staff.
Working with the reader. See, y'all just had Chris on, so working with him as well and others from the reader, but we're just on the more editorial side and then trying to get the information out to others, or if there's like more things that they can report on, partnering that way too.
Okay.
All the same. I like that. That's what's up.
I am kind of curious about this network because we have talked about Chicago. There's also Cleveland, Detroit, Atlanta, where I am, which I'm currently receiving the reports from Canopy in Atlanta, which is the organization that does Documenters down here. Is there any conversation on the national side, any sharing of information, or maybe looking at some of the documented information from a national perspective?
I mean, there's definitely, since it is a network, it's definitely like a learning community for us and ways to share different resources as well. But I was going to say, like, even some of the things that they've looked at in Cleveland or Detroit too, like, is there a way to look at some of those things here at the local level too? I believe somebody has like a TIFF tracker, and that's something I've talked to Chris about as well. So, I mean, just obviously knowing what others are doing and how can we do them here. Excuse me 1 second.
Yep. We'll put her on pause there real quick while she handles that. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. I really I think about the how many meetings we talk about TIFF all the time. TIFF Alley. Be great to have somebody sitting in the meetings where they make decisions about what's going on with TIFF. At least hear what they're talking about. Miss Erica says, who initially started this in the first city? One of the brothers, his name is Daryl Holiday. He's one of the co-founders out in Chicago City Bureau, and he put this. Him and a partner put this thing together, and it blew up there. And so yeah, it's fairly new program, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it started there in like 2018, so it's only about 4.
Oh yeah, fairly new. I mean, for me, DeJuan was kind of the first person I heard locally who was kind of talking about it.
Well, John Houston was for me. And I think him and DeJuan were working together to try to bring it here through noise and stuff like that. So, so that was I didn't know what was going to happen with that. I didn't hear nothing for a year, and then all of a sudden we heard that it was happening, and John was like, "Hey, meet Abbie Kretz. She's getting ready to go there."
So yeah, we're definitely excited to see the work that comes out of this project and some of the ideas that might can stem from this. We've had several conversations where your name has popped up, and a lot of people like, oh yeah, the Documenters will be perfect for this, and Documenters will be perfect for that. So I do think the people see a need for it, but again, we need to get people involved so we can have Documenters. As you know, Abbie can't make every meeting, and 6 Documenters definitely isn't enough. So yeah, definitely. This is a call to action to the listeners, to the chat chimers. Let's get more people involved, especially, you don't have to be an expert in civics. You don't, just make some time, educate yourself, educate others.
Yeah. Any things you want to leave us with on these subjects?
Dang it. Should have thought about this before. No, I mean, if you're interested, hit me up. I think, after the elections, it's kind of a, I don't know, reality check, I guess. But,
Mm.
and I know that there's a big push for get out the vote campaigns. And now is the opportunity through this program and obviously others that we can actually make sure that those elected officials that say they're going to do things are actually going to do things. Because it's one thing to vote. The other is like, how do we hold them accountable? I think this is just one way to do that. And then obviously we can use that information in 4
Mm.
years and say like, hey, you said you were going to do this, but we have notes that say otherwise
Right.
from a reputable source. So.
Man, that was actually just reminded me of we had a conversation with Sister Chimers Snipe in regards to, the reality check of voting and what this whole, last couple months really means to us. And through the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table, Sister Snipes is putting together engagement plans, civic health. I think she called civic health plans with people. And I just say, let's urge and make sure that, maybe becoming a documenter is a part of some people's civic engagement, civic health plan, and maybe some work. I don't know how much work you have had or plan to have with the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table, but that might be a good partnership.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Cameron. Now that elections are over, there's definitely more bandwidth to talk about this too.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Well, right on. Thanks for joining us. Let's you and I get together this week for sure. This will be a good time to do it. Because things are finally slowing down around here on my end. Thanks for everybody that has joined us and had questions for Abbie. And you can always hit her up. We got her email address in the chat right there. So it's just Abbie at omahadocumenters.org if you're interested in the position or anything about this whole organization here. She can help you out with that as well. And thanks for everything. When you come back next time, I definitely want to talk to you about the funders. And if you had any conversations with any of the funders that reflect they think this is a good idea as well. I mean, obviously they do if they provided grant funds, but just kind of want to hear about what everybody really thinks about this fourth estate idea of just keeping track of things that way.
Man.
And all that good stuff. So we'll have a
one more thing with that though.
Absolutely.
I think it's also about. I've just been thinking about this too. We have a lot of. I mean, our city, we have a lot of philanthropists. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also how do we begin to call upon elected officials to like stand up and use the money that they have too, so we're not always depending upon philanthropy. Cover some stuff too.
Like that.
So maybe I'll just leave with that, and that'll be the
Drop some mic.
maybe for next time, I guess. So I think like that's the whole piece of advocacy too, is how we're calling upon elected officials to like use their money more wisely and use it.
Well, first we got to understand how they're using it, and that's where you guys come in. So right on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all.
All right, have a good day.
All right.
All right, bye.
All right, there it is. Abbie Kretz, man, one-man band over there right now with the Documenters program. So appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for all the questions and everything that you guys had for her as well. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back, jump into a lightning round before we get to our next guest. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, let's get busy. Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't going to play this because I don't want you. Y'all can't have this beat. Y'all can't have it. It's mine already. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Called Beeee Buddi3 Da Gawd. That's the new track on the upcoming First Sky Omaha mixtape featuring the boys. Man, welcome back. Thanks for joining us and thanks for sticking around this late in the show. If you miss any parts of the show, you can always go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook, on Instagram. Not Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I have an idea about how to get this on Instagram, though. I'll talk to you about it later. But
yeah, we need to figure that out.
Hood Table in the house. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Hood Table. I checked you guys out for a little while on Friday night. Y'all had a lot to say about Kanye. We've been talking about it a little bit as well. But y'all went in. I like how you guys go in on it, man. A lot of times, if we didn't do this show as early as we do, we just might be our show might be similar to y'all's. Because it might be late night, we might have a drink or two, and be talking out the side of our necks and having a good time, like we like to do. And really, like, you guys make it fun and funny and very informative and everything else. So I really appreciate you guys over there at the Hood Table. Check them out on YouTube. Get their numbers up as well. Dewan Lamont Hayes in the chat says Mayor Town Halls, November 14th, Saddlebrook Community Center. That's 14850 Laurel Avenue at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. November 15th, the dock at Ashton, 1229 Millwork Avenue at 6 to 7:30. Wanda Lewis said we need the North Omaha community to show up at that Millworks Avenue one. Excuse me, 1229 Millwork Ave, north of Cumming, which we like to call Northside.
Yeah.
And so yeah, should represent. That's as close as Stothard gonna get to the north side for a minute, I think. She used to go to Big Mama's last before the pandemic though. So we'll see. Appreciate everybody, Dewan. Yeah. So there you go. That's what's happening on that end of things. And it'll be interesting to see what they have to say there. Who's gonna show up? I'd like to definitely represent and go show up, man, and ask her a few questions myself. See what the mayor got in, just what she has on her brain, what she got involved. Right. Love to hear that. We got about 3 more minutes before we're going to bring in our next guest. Let's do a little lightning round real quick of the things that we want to talk about and continue on the conversation with on Wednesday, Women's Wednesday here on First Sky Omaha. What's on the agenda?
Well, fresh on my mind, again, we were talking about documenters, and this is definitely a story that we could have used the documenters in talking about the St. Francis Ministry situation, because maybe they would have been able to find out that there were some fraudulent things going on before we got this far. Again, the federal grand jury has indicted the former Kansas foster care officials on fraud charges. If you're not familiar, again, St. Francis Ministries was the organization contracted with the state of Nebraska to handle a large amount of Omaha and I believe Lincoln area foster care provider contracts and cases. And it has now been decided and found that through a federal investigation that there are fraud charges going out to former CEO and IT director of St. Francis Ministries for scheming to defraud the foster care provider of at least $4.7 million in fake invoices. Again, $4.7 million in fake invoices. The indictment follows a 2-year investigation into accusations of financial mismanagement that led to the dismissal of former CEO Robert Father Bobby Smith. Again, these are Catholics. These are supposed to be, high moral fiber type individuals being involved, religious leaders being involved in these types of scandalous activities. So again, very, very sad situation. Families and children hanging in the balance. And now we reported that the state of Nebraska still struggling with trying to reel from that situation. Now, 2 times the limit of cases for caseworkers, just being swamped, working overtime is not a good situation, even with this indictment and the transfer. So we're still working to get back to a stable situation for our foster care children out there. So we'll continue to keep our eyes on this situation, but at least some justice is served. Again, federal indictment laid down for former CEO Father Bobby Smith. So,
dang.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bad situation. And we'll continue to keep our eyes open because as Senator Michaela Cavanaugh said, some of this that's being reported is really just the tip of the iceberg. So, yeah, there may be more that we don't know about.
There you go.
Yeah. In other news, this is something that we really haven't talked about too much, but we'll definitely love to hear if anyone is familiar with this area that's being developed out on 192nd and Dodge. It's called One
Avenue 1.
Avenue 1. Thank you. I was almost misspoke. But yes, Avenue 1. Yeah. Does anyone know about this area? We're just wondering because again, we're constantly talking about development. Big shout out to our partners at the Reader who have a whole disinvested project talking about the lack of investment in North Omaha and South Omaha, but yet here we have a whole city being built out on 192nd. So just wondering, does anybody know about this? Anyone know anything about it? Familiar with it?
I was talking before about how I think, when they started building other stuff out west, then I was thinking they were going to do a lot of this kind of stuff, and I still believe they might even like build a new airport or something out there too, like just totally bypassing what's going on in the city in a big way. But but it's not a surprise. It just is. It feels surprising. This is still Omaha. We're still in Omaha here. So has anybody heard about this Avenue 1 project? It looks pretty extensive to me. About what how they're building a whole new city here, really, and and we were cracking up at this rendering because we were like, where the black people at? I don't see no people of color walking around here in this rendering. So we're gonna be showing who they want to frequent these places as well. Who's anybody talking about it? No. So let us know if you know anything about that or heard it. We just want to know if you've seen it, heard it, if it's been on your radar that this thing is happening. Are you going out? Check it out. Mr. Eckenfeld says only through Facebook ads. Yeah, they heavily. That's how I found it. So they're definitely hitting the ad campaigns hard on this. So that's what's up. But moving on, yeah, just interesting stuff, man. We're always talking about new development, like Buddy was saying. There's not a whole lot in the areas that need it, but there's always new little cities popping up.
Man,
here we are again.
Millions of dollars on lakes and things like that. So yeah, we're always paying attention. Again, that is the extension of following the money and the season of where our focus is as far as where's development going, what areas are being developed, who's investing in what and why. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. It's about 8:47 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we got our man hanging in the wings real quick. Let's bring him on, brother Matt.
How's it going?
Blackwater Free Press in the house. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, but we might have just derailed this whole thing because you guys started talking about development renderings. My favorite joke in all of Omaha history. Here's the thing. You go look at that picture. Not only are there no black people, there's no, crummy geo prism with the bumper held on with duct tape. And that's going to be there. It's just, it is not those things. How many of those have we seen over the past decade where you're like, oh yeah, and then that never happens. Right?
Yeah.
That's not going to exist. The only thing I know for sure is that's not going to happen.
Look at even the cars, even the selection of cars. Where are the big farmer trucks that are driving around downtown all the time? Like, yeah, and I think look how these people are dressed. These are all the young professionals, the young white professionals that they want to come to these places and frequent these places.
They don't live there. Even they don't live. No one wants to live out there, right? That's nothing. That's not going to happen. It's going to be a bunch of old, boring people. That's what's going to be there.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, how many of those have you seen where you're like, that never happened? That never happened. How many of these have run on the front page of newspapers that we know and love that never came to pass? They're just made up. It's I want to get in the rendering game. I don't know who's paid to do those things, but I think I'd be good at it. I think I've got what it takes. We'll just make it up. Here we go, that thing.
You got no homeless people hanging out. We ain't got no street tacos. We ain't nothing.
Nothing.
All my renderings are going to have street tacos. I can promise you that right now. 100% street tacos all the time.
Can't go wrong with street tacos.
I believe in that. I do. It's something that I feel strongly about.
I mean, you can't have a community unless you got a taco truck somewhere. I mean, what is the community without that?
Amen.
Wanda Lewis says that's in the Douglas County Sheriff's District. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe tacos too. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, Greg Gonzalez didn't win, or else they would have been taco trucks on there over there. So
I think Aaron believes in tacos too. I do.
I hope so.
I hope so. At least.
Because if they start messing with my tacos, I might have to move. So I'll just put it to you like that. We got look at about 10 minutes left in the show, bro. Let us know what you got going on these days.
We got a busy week, guys. The first thing, and I don't know, you guys might know about this already, but we are on Wednesday doing something that we've said we were going to do a lot more. As I know we've been on here a lot talking about prison issues, and that's kind of a downer, but it is what it is. It's important. Our prisons are wildly expensive, overcrowded, and they're kind of at a turning point, right? The director quit. All these problems have been exposed by us and others over the past God knows how long. I think we're at a point where this really might get fixed. So on Wednesday, and it's in Lincoln, so I know that's not you guys' place to live, but it's not that far of a drive. They got tacos there too. At the Swanson Auditorium at UNL Student Union, 4:30, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have 5 people on stage, representing a cross section of people who know what's up in prisons, have run them before, have been in them before. And we're going to, Natalia, who's been reporting the hell out of this over the past year, is going to do some moderation, lead that panel for an hour and a half. It will be live streamed. So if you're interested and can't make it up there, 4:30 Wednesday, head to flatwaterfreepress.org. You can pull it up. UNL's running the stream this time, so I'm pretty confident it's going to work. We've had troubles with that in the past, but they know what they're doing. They know which way is up. So that's happening Wednesday, and it should be really good. I'm excited about that. Super excited about that. We've got, seriously, a cross section of people that know everything about this system, and Natalia, who knows it better than some of them. Right. So it should be good. I'm really pumped about it.
It's cool. Yeah. I'm pumped about anything that's going on in Lincoln right now, man. Every time we report anything on Lincoln, they seem to be light years ahead of what Omaha is doing in a lot of different areas and ways. And we just connected with some folks out there that are connected in the scene there, and we're going to be having like Lincoln reports and stuff like that coming. So shout out to Nature Medicine Song and everybody who is a part of that, is going to be a part of that situation. Because we got to connect the two. There's Black communities out there as well. We want to definitely connect Lincoln and Omaha and make it not be such a segregated thing there as well. So that's what's up.
Yeah,
I just want to real quick just jump in and make a adjustment to something I said earlier. Wanda Lewis is saying Greg just might win. We won't know until Friday. So that's right. Greg Gonzalez is still in the running here because they're still counting votes and all those things for him to be for county sheriff. So he hasn't lost yet. We'll see what'll happen there. I believe. Yeah. So appreciate you bringing that out, Wanda Lewis, and fingers crossed, man. I hope Greg gets it. To be honest with you.
Hopefully. But definitely looking forward to this conversation. I just saw reported, I believe one of the chat chimers brought it to our attention that there was a major leak in Nebraska State Penitentiary, displaced about 140 or so inmates. So definitely still major issues going on in our prison system. Still one of the most overcrowded systems in the country. I believe number 2 behind Alabama.
Isn't that crazy?
Man, a few people have said like Nebraska is becoming the Mississippi of the Midwest, and those types of things make it more and more true. So again, thank you for putting on this conversation, and hopefully some good and some change really comes out of it. But beyond that, we also talked about some environmental stuff that you guys are reporting on as far as water pollution. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, Yen Chi has been spending months now looking into water issues in Nebraska. And what she found is shocking to me, right? I've been an investigative reporter for 15 years. I've found a lot of crazy stuff, but we've got a problem with nitrates here. Nitrates in our water. We're blessed to sit over this aquifer that gives us all the water we need for ourselves, for our baths, for our showers, for our agriculture. And yet we're not necessarily taking the best care of it. It's through, not to spoil it too much, but it's a mix of things. It's a mix of, it takes nitrogen to get these crops to grow and thrive as much as possible. And so obviously farmers want to take advantage of that. And then our state, the body that we put in charge of regulating this stuff doesn't. And that's the story that's going to come on Friday. I should also say something that sticks out to me with this story that just can't believe 50 years ago, something like that, 40 years ago, the state legislature passed a bill that said, hey, we're kind of worried about nitrates. We want to get this under control. And here's how we think the getting it under control should work. They laid out a whole plan, before I was born. And it hasn't happened. The problem's only gotten worse since then. Nyenchi was actually able to track down the senator that passed that bill, who's now a 90-something-year-old man, right? Saying, yeah, still bad.
You said shaking his head like they're never going to get it together.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the story coming this week, I think it's this week. These stories, you've got plans, and then they're done when they're done. But it's about the regulatory aspect. It's about why is there such a problem putting discipline up when people go out of bounds on applying this stuff to the crops? Why is there so much of a problem doing that? How often has it happened? The answer is, I think, never. And how can we fix it? Is there a way to fix it? That's always going to be our focus. One thing, it's not going to come up in this story, but one thing that's kind of interesting is, this is real boring, guys. This is too boring for 9 a.m. on a Monday, but we've got these things in Nebraska called natural resource districts that are there specifically to track our water. And they have elections. No one cares, right? No one even name your NRD board member. Can't. But they're there, and they're there for this specific purpose. And last week, a couple of people running on a regulatory campaign platform actually won. They want to do a little bit more to make sure that our water stays safe. And we're talking about Nebraska, right? Regulations is the boogeyman for a lot of people here for good reason. And they actually said, well, yeah, it's probably time we get around to doing something about this. So some folks who want to see change there got elected, and we'll see what happens. I kind of want to talk to them and see what they've got in mind, how they want to get across this finish line.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say, just to let just to let everybody, remind everybody what we're talking about here. Nitrates in the water. Nitrates come from fertilizer and stuff that's been sprayed on for all the farmlands that's around here. It gets into the water system, and nitrates can cause cancer and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, no. So like nitrates, not to interrupt you, but nitrates they're tied to cancer. There's a lot of reasons that people get cancer, but they might be the reason why Nebraska has the 7th highest pediatric cancer rate in the entire nation. The west of Pennsylvania. So if you think about in the old 1800s, before any of this stuff, they're piping lead into the sky. It's really bad out there, and it's also here. And this is probably why, right? This is probably what's going on. Yeah, it comes from animal waste. Good point, Wanda. And they're regulated too. We've got cattle fields, and we're supposed to regulate them. And guess what? Doesn't really happen.
Yeah, and I think of like Pig Alley. I think down in Louisiana, where there's an area of pig farmers are spraying the pig fecal matter in the air, and that's causing cancer in that community. And just regulation of farming is definitely huge. I'm looking forward to see what comes out of this article. But just going back to the Mississippi of the Midwest conversation, like, it is laughable, but you look at Jackson, Mississippi, and what they're going through with their water. It's very, very interesting, the similarities beyond just the laughing matter of it, and the fact that you're, kind of getting down to the bottom of some of that stuff. I would really appreciate that. And just the impact that it has, not just, in the urban areas, but you look at a Flint and you look at what's going on in Nebraska, and, the difference between urban and rural isn't as wide as we might have thought.
I'm telling you, it's all about who gets, all this stuff sticks together. The big idea, talking about development on 192nd and nowhere, talking about lack of regulation, lack of basic safety in rural areas, North Omaha, South Omaha. We still have lead. I forget the term. We got lead stuff going on in North Omaha, right? There's still a couple thousand houses with that, dealing with that up there. That's crazy. It's 2022. One last thing. I know you guys got shut down here in a couple minutes, but we've got a story coming out tomorrow that I think you guys would be interested in. Maybe talk about next week. Michael Severe. I don't know if you know him. He's I'm just a killer reporter, and he can do it all: food, sports, investigations, everything. He does a monthly piece where he just talks to somebody that we think is interesting or important. And the piece we've got coming tomorrow or Wednesday, we'll see, is with Mayor Stothert. I think that should be, I know it's a good one. I've listened to it. I've read it. But one thing that I think that you guys and maybe your audience will really take out of this is, it's not often that you see her unedited. We let her talk. We do the interview live, unedited, for half an hour, so you can see Mayor Stothert, who, mayor for life. She's going to run as long as she wants to run. Who knows when that'll be over? Maybe she's done already. But there's no denying that she is a powerful person in Omaha, and she's got a stranglehold on that like no one else. And you'll be able to see her answer some hard questions from Michael for half an hour. It's good stuff, and you can just read. I always just read it, right? I'm not much for video, but I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about that.
Oh, we definitely gonna. Yeah, we might even have to start our reaction videos on that one right there.
Thank you.
This Eric Fell says, I think I remember Michael Severe from TV News. Was he on TV News?
Yep, he used to be on TV. He's been on all the radio. He's great. He's a legend.
Nice.
Thanks for the heads up. We definitely gonna check that one out.
Yeah,
definitely,
for sure.
Definitely. Anything else? Any parting words? Anything else that you're excited about that the reader is getting into, or just anything that might just have you personally excited?
I mean, we're high. I think you guys saw we got a new reporter that started just a couple weeks ago. She's actually she started last week. She's in the office today. She's getting to work. She's one of the best in the state, and I'm really excited. The list of things she's come in with, that's really exciting. And we've got more hires on the way, right? We're in this tremendous growth phase. Oh my God, I might lose my executive director card if I didn't make this plug. We are starting our annual giving campaign.
Oh, same at the Benson Theater. I gotta say that too.
Yeah. You know how it goes. It's just it is what it is. But
Giving Tuesday coming up.
Yeah, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you're going to start getting things from me today saying, here's what we were up to. We really need any donations you can spare. It's good. This is what we do. This is how we make it work. This is how it happens. So be forewarned. That's coming.
There you go. Flatwater Free Press. Check them out. Flatwaterfreepress.org. It's on your screens. Doing the good work, man. I definitely appreciate always speaking with you, Matt. And I'm looking forward to
you guys. Love chatting. Love getting to hear what's on your mind.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Take care.
See you soon.
Peace.
All right, that'll do it for our show. Thanks for our special guest that came in, Brother Matt Wynn, Flatwater Free Press. Man, that's what's up. Abbie Kretz from the Documenters Program, and of course Qasim Asad from the Black Agenda Alliance, and Chris Baby Boy Bowling from the Reader. So chock full of good stuff. This show, if you miss any parts of it, you can go back and check it out on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter, and watch the show in its entirety. And add to it too is you can also go ahead and throw your comments in it as well, even if we're not live. So do that, and also do us a favor and join Friends of First Sky Omaha if you're a friend of First Sky Omaha, that is, and join that page. That's where a lot of the news that we talk about comes from, and you can put some stuff in there, things that you think that we need to be talking about, and all that good stuff. We'll look there first and check it out. So appreciate all of you that have done that already. You guys, some of you guys are really diligent with that. We really appreciate that very, very much. So thank you for that. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, as always, big shout out to our guests for coming through and speaking with us. Big shout out to the listeners. We have the best chat in the world, man. So we definitely appreciate everyone for making this show what it is, asking questions, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard, most importantly. And catch the same time, same place. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones. Don't just get comfortable and go back into our corners. Again, we got work to do in the community. It's not just the elected officials, but each and every one of us have our portion to put forth. So let's get to work, y'all. Let's push that car together.
Right on. Yes, sir. Just to let you know as well, keep on looking out for the BAA, the Black Agenda Alliance are doing good work. And as you can see, they raise their own funds. So they'll put something together for you to be able to contribute to them as well. So make sure you do that. If you can't get out there and put your hands in the dirt, then send them some loot so they can keep this situation going here in the 8 acres that they have acquired for our youth and for our community. So definitely help them out, check them out as well. We're also always going to say, get on the team to send Ernest home. For sure, you can check them out. Send Ernest home, the Facebook page, and sign up and volunteer there. Do some good work if you can. Really appreciate that. And also check out our sisters' podcast as well. Wherever you get your podcasts, Political Evolution is going down with Whitney Richardson. Definitely check her out and listen to what she has to say there. She has some very good guests on as well. You can hear Precious McKesson kind of stretch out a little bit on one of the interviews. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. And really appreciate everybody that's joined us today. Like Miss Erica Fell says, drink your water, take care of yourselves. I've been feeling a little under the weather here lately. I gotta keep on, gotta get back on the diet, on the exercise program, on the everything that we need to stay healthy. Can't do nothing if you're down. So
man, health as well.
Wanda Lewis in the chat says, while they had many concerns of lead in the dirt and lead paint, I often emphasize to them the need to replace the lead pipes. Yeah, if you got water flowing through lead pipes, there's still a lot of issues, man. A lot of issues, and water is now the 4th worst water in the country is in Omaha, Nebraska. So that's messed up, and it has to do with these nitrates and things that we were just talking about. So get yourself some bottled water, preferably Third Eye, because that's a Black-owned water organization here in Omaha, Nebraska that gets down on purified water. So definitely check them out. And and take care of yourselves. So really appreciate you guys joining us. Marianne Williams says, great show, great guest. Thanks, guys. Thank you for all the things that you put into the Friends of First Sky Omaha in particular. You do some good work there. Really appreciate your input. Linda Chicago says, great show. And Miss Erica Phelps says, wonderful show. And I love how it started with the BAA, drink water, fire it. Okay, that's what's up. Wonderful show. Love how it started with BAA, drink water. She continued on here. Direct your money so you're proud of it instead of wondering where it went. Ooh, direct your money so you're proud of it instead of man. I ain't never even thought about being proud of where my money gets spent. That's interesting.
It's a heavy one.
I like it. Be good to yourselves. You be good to yourself too. Thank you for joining us. We are running late, so we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much. We will be continuing this conversation on Wednesday, 7:00, same time. We'll have Precious McKesson, Politicking with P, and we'll also have Miss Kimra Snipes and seeing what's good in the hood with her. Put some respect on their names. Thank you for joining us. Mama God says, good Monday show. Be safe. Enjoy your day. Appreciate it. And for those of you that have asked and texted me, Pops is at an appointment today. That's why he didn't make it. Excuse me, but thank you for asking about him. He said to send his love to the First Sky fam as well. He'll see you Wednesday. So we'll see you Wednesday as well. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Stay warm. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red